Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Hello, everyone. How are you? It is Jack and Hunter. I'm Jack Schafer, and I'm here with Hunter Questal, and we're going to be going over the latest New York sports, mainly the Yankees and two football teams. So, start off the Yankees. They're down 2-1 in the series. They finally won a game last night, and they're looking to keep their season alive tonight.
So, when you were watching the game yesterday, what did you have that thought process within the first two innings that you were like, "Damn, our season's over"? When they were trailing 6-1 in the second.
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was dead on the floor. I thought they were going to get swept out of their own building.
Well, Rodon just did not look very nice yesterday, but the bullpen really, what you guys didn't expect, came in and pitched really well, and that was surprising.
Yeah, no, they got a lot of innings out of it. I'm surprised how they didn't give up a run even at all. Rodon gave up all 6 earned runs, and the bullpen didn't give up a single one. It was a very long night for them, too. You had a long list of guys. You had Williams, obviously Bednar, Cruz. Then you also had Hill going out there. Everyone gave you a great performance, a lot of the guys gave you more than an inning, which is all very nice. It's kind of what you needed. You didn't want to put Luke Weaver out there again because he's been having a terrible postseason so far, but you wanted to really get the guys that were better. So you got Bednar. He was resting for the first 2 games. So you're able to give him 5 outs for you tonight. Outs 5 for you yesterday, which is very good. And now you're going to Cam Schlittler again for game 4.
Right. And I think I'd be pretty confident with Schlittler just because he pitched really well against the Red Sox. I would say he pitched pretty well. And then he just gave you quality. I don't know. I'd be excited for game 4. I don't know, just because the Yankees bats really woke up, and within the last couple of games, we've seen a drought of that. And to be honest, if the Yankees bats didn't wake up when they did, the season was over. When you're down 6-1, you need runs, and it's only the second inning, so they had a long time or the third inning, and they had a long time to score, and they managed to do it. I mean, Judge hit that homer off the foul pole.
Yep, they gave you an amazing postseason moment there.
Yeah, and I'm sure all Yankee fans loved to see it. It was just, that was such a big moment for Judge, and we've seen him performing pretty well in the postseason. He hasn't hit a homer yet, but now all of a sudden yesterday he does. And Judge is starting to maybe break that narrative a little bit.
Yeah, he does have a 500 average for the entire postseason so far, which is pretty insane. And also, I thought on the graphic last night, they showed that he is tied for the most home runs with David Ortiz in elimination games with 6, which is just, I didn't really know about that. I know he's had a lot of postseason games to accumulate that, but I just didn't know that he had enough to be that high up on something like that. Obviously, it's a pretty narrow amount of games, obviously, but it's still really impressive for him.
Yeah, that just shows that he comes in when there's a big moment that's needed. Something like 6 times that's important, because if you minus any of those homers, there's a chance that they don't win. And that's something that an organization, when they're looking to sign a player to a long-term deal like the Yankees did with Judge, that's something that I'm sure that teams look at. Like us, it comes off as something like, oh, that's a random stat, that's a fun fact, but those are big home runs, and 6 homers is a very important number, just because that just shows that the player delivers when you need him to.
Mm-hmm. And one of the big things about this team is that obviously 2017 was a long time ago, but when this team has gone down 0-2 in the ALDS, you have seen them come back and win the next 3 games. 2017, they did it against the Indians with obviously a much different team they have now, but it's still very much a thing of, it's still the same era. You can see that this team can do it. It's just depending if they would. Now with Cam Schlittler, I am worried a bit, mainly because of the fact that Fried and Rodon both got smacked around in their 2 games, even though they had a good 2 games against Boston, both of them. So I'm kind of worried about the fact that he also may get hit around. Now he may not. Maybe he'll break the cycle. Maybe he'll be able to give you out there another great probably not as good as the Boston game, because I don't know if you can really replicate that. But even if he goes out, gives you 6 innings and 3 runs, I'd be completely good with that.
Right. And looking at Toronto has just they've had a crazy season so far. They were always in the conversation of a big time guy. They were in the conversation for Soto. They were in the conversation for Ohtani. A couple years ago, they were in the conversation for Judge. Not that any of us thought Judge was leaving the Yankees. little bit sometimes when they brought up that Giants, but
Arson Judge.
yeah. So when you think about where Toronto's come from, they weren't really good in the very beginning of the year. They started off kind of slow, but this team just turned it on. And right now, we're kind of seeing the fact that this team can just score runs. And it's crazy to watch that Toronto, a team that you didn't, I mean, they re signed Guerrero in the beginning of the year to that long term deal. I think it was $500 million contract.
Yeah.
That's a great signing for them. They needed that. And then all of a sudden this year, on his first year of on the last year of his contract, he's giving you, he hit the grand slam and now he hit a 2-run homer yesterday. He is really performing when the lights are right on him. So I think that's caught the Yankees a little off guard. The fact that Toronto didn't really look good when they played the Yankees. And all of a sudden now they're just dumping runs on.
Well, to be fair, Guerrero has always been insanely good against the Yankees in his career. So maybe it'll probably helps him a little bit to be in the postseason and be against the Yankees. But no, but the point that you said earlier about the fact that they've always been like the bridesmaid in their negotiations for free agents, never being really able to get those guys that they've been looking for. And kind of this was a core that went to the postseason twice, but then failed both times in their both wildcard appearances. So you kind of they were kind of on the fringe, it felt like, because last year they missed. So they were kind of, is this core going to stick around or are they going to do a slight rebuild after this season? But then no, they turned it on, finally won the division for the first time in a decade. And they show that they're very much a good team. So now they kind of need to, you got to finish off, if for them, they have to finish off the Yankees. Obviously, losing one game isn't that big of a deal. But if you force them back in Toronto, they are one of the best home teams, to be fair. But like you're kind of putting them on the back heels. They are, I think, tonight going for a bullpen game, which is going to be very interesting because then kind of you have seen a lot of those bullpen arms for 2 straight games. You saw them a lot last night because you got to see a long look at them, and also game 2 where the Yankees, even though it was a bunch of in that game meaningless runs, you got pitchers to come out. You got to see all these different guys. So you're probably going to get a third look at them tonight. So maybe you'll be able to do the same thing and pour on a bunch more runs tonight.
And I'm hoping that they do, just because I'm not really rooting for either roster, but I know that you're a Yankee fan, so I'll root for them for you. But yeah, I think it's just genuinely just surprising to me that the Blue Jays are where they are. And I think it's a great position for the Yankees to be in right now. Not down one, but going into this game tonight, like you said, seeing bullpen arms, typically we see teams light them up after you see them for a while, just because a lot of the time bullpen guys don't have a big arsenal of pitches. They have 2 or 3 pitches, and that's about it. So when you can look at a reliever and consistently see these 3 pitches and what their like rotations per minute is, like how much the ball moves, you typically see that teams light them up, and the Yankees hopefully can capitalize on that tonight, just because we don't know what we're getting out of the pitching. They haven't gotten a lot of good pitching out of their pitchers this series. I don't think we've gotten any good pitching, actually. And
yeah, had one good bullpen game so far. That's it.
Yeah, and it was a good bullpen game, but the starter got lit up. So we're kind of hoping that that they can put it together and hopefully capitalize on the fact that they've seen these arms before and they just don't get killed.
Yeah. I will say a very good thing about at least your back 2 guys in the rotation, like both Williams and Bednar have been pretty good in the postseason so far. Cruz has also been kind of solid. He's been a little bit more iffy, but like Bednar and Williams have both been kind of lights out for you. Obviously, Bednar did give up 1 run, but that was already in a losing game. So when you've needed him to close it down, he's been closing it down this postseason. So it was very important to get him in that trade deadline. Also, the fact that you said that you should probably be rooting for the Yankees for the show, because after they're gone, then at least the Knicks will be coming. At least the basketball season will be starting soon. So it'll be something, because these football teams are not giving you anything to talk about. They're just, I mean, what's it called? The Giants are probably a bit more interesting just because of the fact that they have a rookie quarterback, and the soap opera of if and when are they going to fire the coach. But yeah, no, Jets are just kind of very boring because they've been pretty bad. But yeah, to go back onto the Yankees point, it's been those first 2 games were like almost soul crushing a little bit, because you just got you didn't look like you belonged with them in that series. They were running you out of the building in those first 2 games, and then looked like there was going to be the same thing game 3, and then it just turned around, especially on that Judge home run, bringing it from 6-3, tied it back up, and then Jazz gave you the solo shot, and you never relinquished the lead again.
Yeah, I think it's very funny to hear him say that that Williams is pitching really well, because I know it's been the talking topic of the Yankees since they got him, and he pitched absolutely horrendously. So I think it's a good sign.
He was a dumpster fire for the first month, but then he's been more up and down since then. Like you have seen him stretches pitch good. He's been very streaky. It seems like you had stretches where he's been pretty good, and then he's been a couple bad games, then go back to good. So it looks like he's in one of his where he's throwing the ball well, kind of locked in. The worst thing is that when next year comes and he gets signed to a different team, he's going to probably pitch as well as he was in the Brewers, because he's been so bad this year for no real discernible reason, because a lot of the way his pitches have looked in like advanced metrics have been fine. Like they've looked the same as they usually do, but he's just getting a lot of worse luck this year. So, I mean, obviously I don't want to re-sign him again, because like there's a feeling of that you gamble on him again, and then you throw all the dice. It's like, okay, he's probably going to regress. And then if he doesn't, they'll feel much worse. But it's kind of the bad thing, but at least you do have a guy that you can, I feel like, rely on in Bednar for at least next year.
I think with Williams, that the main fact is just like it's New York. It's New York. It's different for every player. Some players love the big lights on them, like Jazz, I would say.
Oh, Jazz eats up the scenery.
He loves it. And then you have a relief pitcher that in game 2 of the regular season, if he gives up a run, he's getting eaten alive. And it's the same thing with New York, all New York teams, football, both baseball teams. It's just kind of how it is. And some players it gets in their head and it's done from there. So he might just be he comes from Milwaukee, where, I mean, Milwaukee's obviously really good right now, and they were pretty good. They've been pretty good throughout his career, but they haven't been like that good. And you don't hear all these players. You don't hear anything about Milwaukee. I'm sure they say stuff, but like you don't hear it to the same level that New York fans hear it. So I think that he's kind of just a factor of, oh, he's in New York, and it may have gotten into his head, and some players just don't perform well. So that could be the main reason why Williams is not pitching well. He could also just have made a minor change that he could not figure out for the life of him. Like it could have been like, oh, his arm angle changed by 2 degrees, and it could be something like that. But I don't know. I feel like New York's just a different place, and we saw it with so many players in the past, to the point where it's like, how many more players is it going to happen to? I mean, it's going to just keep happening forever.
Well, yeah, I think the biggest showing was like Sonny Gray. He was like the guy who they traded for. He was really good when they traded for him. Did not do well at all here, and then immediately went back to being like an all-star type pitcher once he left. So it's like kind of it's the whole thing of like the pinstripes are heavy, and it does feel like some guys just can't handle it, and some guys love it. Definitely Jazz, you can see very much that he does love it in the bright lights.
Is he a free agent this year?
No, he has another year under contract. Yeah, no, they were able to trade for him with like 3 years of control. It was very nice.
Wow, that's a great trade.
Yeah, yeah. Miami just seemed like they didn't want him. There was weird rumors coming out that he was like a locker room cancer, which makes no sense, because it seems like everyone in that locker room loves him, because he brings like such a fun energy to him. Obviously, he does talk smack a lot, but like I think you kind of need one of those guys. It feels like.
Yeah, I heard that obviously when he came over. What I can say about the locker room cancer thing is that we did see it throughout like some important time this season with the Yankees. He got ejected like 4 games, and like 4 out of 6 games. I think it was towards like, it was right after the All-Star break, probably like 2 weeks after the All-Star break. I was seeing all these videos of him just getting ejected, and I was like, and it was over stupid things. So it's like, that's not a teammate cancer. It's not a locker room cancer, but it's definitely something that like a team doesn't really want to look for. But I think Jazz has definitely got that under control, and I think these games mean a lot to him. So I doubt he's going to do it again.
Well, I guess he was looking after his manager, because Boone gets ejected a lot.
Yeah,
he's riding that leaderboard up to most ejections ever. I don't think he's probably not gonna be out the top of it once his managerial career ends, but he's definitely climbing his way up. Okay, so we got some ads to go at. So we'll take a break for right now, and we'll come back after these short messages.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, I'm Morgan Beastie from the Ionian, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Are you looking for the latest scoop on campus news, sports, and more? Check out the Ionian University's very own award-winning student newspaper. We keep you up to date with everything happening on and off campus. Want to know about the big game, the latest campus event? It's all in the Ionian. Join the conversation. Read, write, and get involved. Visit www.theionian.org or pick up a copy around campus. Stay informed, stay connected. Now, back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Okay, and we are back. Yeah, let's get into that Giants game. Jackson Dart was not a good second game for him. He was like pretty solid in the first half, and then just nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
After it.
I don't understand. I was watching, and I'm like, oh, they scored. They go up 14-3 in the very beginning of the second.
Back-to-back touchdown drives.
I'm so excited for the Giants.
That's something I haven't seen in so long. It's been crazy, and then just absolutely nothing. Like, he did get the worst thing about that game was that fumble. The Jackson Dart fumble where he just slips out of his hand. It just goes. How did it slip out of his hand? Who knows? It's just gone.
Yeah, I mean, that fumble was definitely. that fumble, I don't know. It just went. Whatever. Yeah, it was definitely really funny that. Not funny for you, funny for me that they just kept. They just forgot how to score. At the very beginning of the second, they scored. And then it was like, you could have just turned off the game there and been happy. Like, that game should have just ended right there. And
and then at the end, those back-to-back interceptions by Dart, it's just like he had a very bad second game. Like, he had a solid first game, and then it's just absolutely nothing. He was very promising for the first quarter, and then just nothing. Like, also that Scadaboo fumble, but that was like a defender did actually get him to definitely pop that out. So it's like, it is frustrating, but it's at least something that's like more like that Dart one is just inexcusable.
Was it 4 turnovers or was there more?
I think 4.
That's something that obviously 3 of them being your rookie quarterback is something that you're going to expect. I don't know if 3 in a game, that's a little high, but it's something that you expect out of growing pains out of a quarterback that's never played in the NFL. It's kind of a different level of physicality, but it just confuses me because it's like, you just beat the Chargers.
Yeah,
how do you lose to the Saints?
It's more the fact that it's not even that he got like beat by good defense. Like, if he had this performance against like Philly, it's like, okay, whatever. But the fact that it's the Saints, like, they have not won a game yet. It's just like a very bad performance against a team that is also very bad. So it's you were expecting more. You almost expecting these performances to be flipped. You thought the Chargers would have been a lot better than they were, and then the Saints a lot worse. But then it's almost like this. Obviously, the difference between the two games is the fact that Giants got turnovers last week. They did not get turnovers this week. There was just no real. They weren't really getting. Like, they won the turnover battle last week. They very lost the turnover battle this week. So it's kind of like those two big things. Obviously, the game against Philadelphia, it's not going to go well this week. I just don't feel it. Yeah, it's a bunch of cold water being poured on. It's like, oh, you had this good thing. Everything just kind of, your flame kind of not dies out completely. It's just like it much more whimpers compared to what it was before. And then I think we should talk about at least the Jets being sort of.
We'll give them a minute of our time.
Yeah, just another
0-5 is great. That's a terrible way to start the season. And
I
ever hear them say that ever again, that Jets are going to win the Super Bowl every year, I'm just going to look at them and be like, you started off 0-5.
Yeah, no, I feel like Jets fans were kind of thinking, it's like, oh, okay, we'll have a better season than this year, like maybe around 500, and it's just nothing has performed to it. Like, you have it's been the best you've gotten is moral victories, unlike some games, and that was when you were coming back late after going down a lot early.
And week 1, I think they were having a good time watching them because they played pretty well. Week 1, I was like, this team could be pretty good because I assumed that the Steelers were going to be pretty good. And then we see them and they scored like, it was like 34-20 or 30. It was like 34-32 or something like that. And I was like, wow, the Jets actually might be good. Yeah, no, the Jets were not good. And I definitely lied. The best thing that they saw was probably Tyreek Hill getting injured on the side of the field. That was about the best thing that they've seen all season. So the Jets season is just a dumpster fire at this point.
Yeah, no, you lost that winless battle with the Dolphins.
Yeah, and it was like, are the Jets going to go 0-17? Probably. So I don't know. I don't have really anything good to say about the Jets because I don't think there is anything really that good to say about the Jets.
This defense has not been that good because this defense has been pretty bad. 37 points against Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is a really good offensive team. They've gotten a lot of shootouts this year. So it is a very high-powered offensive team. So it does make sense that you maybe did give up a bunch of points, but it's like it feels like it's going the same script. I feel like not the same script every game, but just like you've been not really putting everything together on the front.
I think the season has gotten to the point where it's like they thought they were going to the playoffs. Now it's like you look at this team and you're like, even if this team turns it around, they're not going to the playoffs. So let's be honest. So I think that they have to figure out what's going wrong. And right now, I don't watch the Jets enough because how can I? I mean, I watched their highlights, but besides from that, I haven't really paid attention to what's really going wrong. And I think at the point, it's everything because you don't go 0-5 with only one thing going wrong.
They've been so bad this year that we're shipping them out to Europe to go have them get flogged against by the Broncos.
Is that who they play this week?
Yeah, they're going to London to face the Broncos. Games at like 9:30. So wake up to some morning football and probably another Jets loss.
I think Jets fans should sleep in on Sunday. I think that's the better idea. So Jets fans, we'll wrap it up here. Sleep in on Sunday, and everything will just be better.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I also thought they would have had a much better. I thought they would have been like, they would have at least have one win. I didn't think they would be the team that would have been the last ones to get a win if they do. They will, but it's just I wouldn't think they would be the last team to be winless into the season. So it's like it is kind of shocking. I thought they would have been like probably 2-3 to start off. Like they would have been a lot. I thought with Aaron Glenn at the helm, they probably would have been like hovering around 500. I feel like a lot of people were thinking that, but like, yeah, no, it's been not a good year at all for them.
I thought going into the season that they were probably going to be around like 8 wins. I think that was fair. I didn't think they were going to be 500. I thought they were going to be like a game or two under, but like around it.
Yeah, hovering around it.
Yeah. So I definitely am surprised because now looking at the season, they're not going 500. They would have to play really well.
They'd have to turn around a lot. I mean, they can, but I just don't see it at all. The season,
the Jets' history just shows that they don't turn it around.
Yeah, the season's been very wacky overall, to be fair. Like the Chiefs are 2-3. The Ravens, I think, are 1-4.
Guys, the Chiefs lost to the Jaguars. That is something that I never thought I'd say.
The Jaguars are having a really good season.
I know, but that's not something like they're 4-1, but you wouldn't think that looking at the Jaguars.
Everything's upside down this year. The Colts and the Jaguars are both 4-1.
I mean, yeah, the Colts are a little more respectable just because they have Daniel Jones, who's playing really well. I've never really been a fan of Trevor Lawrence at all. Travis Hunter is definitely playing really well. He had an amazing catch against the Chiefs, and I thought that was awesome. It's just cool to see a player play both ways. I thought.
Oh no, it is.
I didn't think it was going to work out. I mean, obviously, it's okay. He hasn't been a superstar. I think if we're looking at in general at any offensive rookie of the year, it's probably, I mean, it's got to be Ibuka.
Yeah,
the receiver for the Bucks, and he has just been on. I'm a Seahawks fan, and we had to go against him last week, so I'm a little sore. But
yeah, and those fire jerseys for them. I don't like it. Everyone I was hearing on like social media saying that those Seahawks jerseys are like also very good. I didn't kind of agree. I like their current kits better.
Yeah, I like them too. I like their newer ones better. The only one I don't like is that lime green one. I think that lime green one could go, and I'd be happy.
I kind of like it. I don't know. I like loud, bright colors on stuff, and like sometimes it just like works. I think the lime greens work, but when they go full lime green. If they go like lime green shirt, if they go lime green jersey, and then like the blue pants.
You can't
No.
do that. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But hey, that was a good game though. I was 38-35 was a good game, but better than what we're seeing out of the Jets. This is just bash the Jets day, honestly. From this side, I don't like the Jets.
What week isn't it? Bash the Jets week.
This is true. Whenever they win, and even then, I'm still going to bash the Jets.
Like, to be fair, like my dad does not like the Jets at all. I don't really care either way. It's just the fact that they have not given you that much. Like they gave you some good stuff in week 1, and then it's kind of just been no for the past 4 weeks. So it's not even out of like hatred or anything, just out of this is what they're giving you. To be fair, the Giants have also not given you much, but at least they gave you one thing.
Sorry to switch the topic again. I really wanted Justin Fields going into it. Like going into the postseason as a Seahawks fan, I really wanted Justin Fields. There was Sam Darnold and Justin Fields. And then Seattle signs Sam Darnold. And I'm like, no, sign Justin Fields. And I was so upset about it. And then all of a sudden now I'm looking and I'm like, Sam Darnold is one of the best QBs in the league right now. So I'm like, hey, you know what? The Jets can keep Justin Fields over there. I feel bad for Justin Fields, but they can keep him over there and we'll keep Sam Darnold and I'll be happy about it.
Yeah. Okay, that wraps it up for this week. Jack Schafer. This is Hunter Questal signing off. We'll see you next week. Same time, same location. See you.